Imagine stepping outside one morning and realizing something is different. The sky glows twice as bright. Two suns rise over the horizon, one golden, one slightly red. Shadows split in opposite directions. The air feels heavier. The world itself seems to breathe under a double dawn. This is life on a two-sun Earth. Now imagine trying to adjust your eyes to that endless brightness. Nighttime, as we know it, would vanish. The stars would fade. The cool, peaceful darkness that defines our evenings, gone forever. Humanity would have to reinvent its entire rhythm of life, all because our planet decided to share its orbit with another sun. But let's pause for a second. Is such a thing even possible? Could Earth survive with two suns? In theory, yes. Many star systems in our galaxy are binary, two stars orbiting each other in a cosmic dance. In fact, about half of all stars you see in the night sky have a partner. Some revolve tightly around each other, while others orbit at vast distances, shaping entire solar systems in ways we can barely imagine. If Earth existed in a binary star system, everything, from our seasons to our sense of time, would change. Let's explore how. First, think of our sun as a steady parent. It keeps Earth warm, stable, and alive. Now introduce a second star, maybe slightly smaller or larger or cooler. The balance shatters instantly. If that second sun were too close, its gravity could pull Earth out of its safe orbit. Our planet could swing wildly between the two, freezing and boiling as it moves. Oceans would evaporate, then freeze solid over and over. If the second sun were farther away, things might be calmer, but even then, light and heat would vary dramatically. Some days would burn under two suns blazing at once. Others would dim when one slipped behind the other. Imagine the chaos of sunrise and sunset occurring not once, but twice each day, casting strange, overlapping shadows that never settle. The world's biology would transform. Plants evolved for the predictable rhythm of day and night. They open, close, photosynthesize, rest. Without true darkness, how would they survive? Some might adapt, developing new pigments to handle the intense radiation. Others would wither and vanish. The forests we know might turn into alien jungles of shimmering leaves designed to deflect light rather than absorb it. And what about us, humans? Our entire existence revolves around light and shadow. Our sleep, our hormones, even our emotions depend on the contrast between day and night. In a world with two suns, insomnia could become the norm. Civilization would have to invent artificial nights, dark shelters, underground cities, massive domes that mimic dusk, just to rest. But let's go deeper. What would our sky look like? With two suns, the concept of blue sky would change completely. Depending on their relative brightness, one might dominate, tinting the sky golden white, while the other adds a reddish or orange hue. The result would be surreal, like living permanently in a sunset. Clouds would scatter light in unpredictable ways, painting the heavens in layered gradients of gold, pink, and violet. And shadows. Oh, the shadows would be strange. Every object would cast two. You'd never see a single clean outline again. Every step you take would trail twin silhouettes, sliding across each other as the suns moved. The world would constantly shimmer with shifting light, like a dream that never stands still. Now imagine weather under such a system. Two suns mean twice the heat energy. Air currents would intensify. Winds could grow ferocious, storms more violent. Deserts might expand into continents of shimmering sand, while polar regions could shrink or vanish entirely. Ice caps might melt faster than they could form, flooding coastlines and redrawing the map of civilization. Still, it's not all destruction. Some scientists suggest that if the two suns were perfectly balanced, locked in a distant orbit, the result could actually be stable. Earth could find a sweet spot, warmed evenly from both sides, creating an eternal spring. No winter, no endless night, just a constant, luminous twilight. It sounds beautiful, but beauty always comes with a price. Without darkness, would we lose something essential? Night is when life slows, when reflection happens. It's when stars tell stories, when humans dream, when imagination awakens. On a two-sun Earth, that stillness would vanish. Constant light might bring constant restlessness. Civilization could evolve into a sleepless world, always awake, always producing, always running from the silence it never gets to feel. Now, consider the practical side. If humanity had evolved here, our eyes would look different. Perhaps larger pupils, specialized retinas, or protective membranes to handle the glare. Our architecture might rely on deep shadows and reflective materials. Buildings could curve inward, shielding people from blinding light. Art might flourish underground. Nightclubs, cinemas, and meditation spaces could become sacred retreats from the endless day. And religions? They'd take on entirely new forms. The concept of light as purity and darkness as evil would lose meaning. Without night, we might never develop myths about fear or mystery. Instead, our legends could revolve around the rare moments when one sun eclipses the other, brief sacred shadows worshipped as gifts from the heavens. Now let's turn the question around. What if this happened to our Earth? Not from birth, but suddenly. Imagine a rogue star entering our solar system. It drifts close, captured by the sun's gravity. Slowly, it becomes a second light in our sky. At first, it's just a faint orange dot, then brighter, then terrifyingly close. The tides surge higher. Satellites lose their orbits. Climate patterns collapse. Daylight stretches longer and longer until night nearly disappears. Humanity panics, not from darkness, but from too much light. Scientists scramble to predict what happens next. Will Earth spiral into a new orbit? Will both suns tear the planet apart? Or could we somehow adapt, building new technologies to survive double radiation and gravitational chaos? Eventually, we might accept our new reality. Entire industries would rise to block or redirect sunlight. Gigantic orbital shades could be deployed, artificial night created through engineering. Humanity, in a strange twist, would fight not against the dark, but against the dawn. But even as we struggle, something extraordinary might happen. Two suns could mean two life-giving centers. Mars, once frozen, might thaw. Outer planets could bloom with warmth. New worlds could awaken, covered in oceans and forests. The solar system, once cold and distant, might become alive again, a chain of habitable planets orbiting twin fires in the sky. In that light, Earth's loss of night might become the galaxy's gain. Let's step even further back, to the philosophical level. What does it mean to have two sources of life, two centers of energy, two symbols of creation? Would we, as a species, become more divided or more whole? Two suns could symbolize balance, light and light instead of light and shadow. Perhaps we'd learn to see duality not as conflict, but as harmony. Imagine a world where art, science, and spirituality merge around the image of twin suns, one symbolizing reason, the other emotion. Logic and passion, intellect and instinct, both vital, both eternal. Maybe humanity would finally stop worshiping one truth and start embracing two. But there's something haunting about it too. Without darkness, there can be no mystery, no stars, no dreams of infinity. We'd never look up and wonder what lies beyond, because the sky would always be blinding. The universe would seem smaller, trapped behind a curtain of light. That's the irony of a two-sun world. More light, but less wonder. And yet wonder might just find a new form. Maybe we'd search inward instead of outward. Without stars to guide us, we'd turn our curiosity to the human soul, to the galaxies of thought and feeling hidden within us. The quest for meaning would shift from the cosmos to consciousness. After all, it's darkness that teaches us to see. Still, let's imagine, one last time, that double sunrise. The first rays strike the horizon, and moments later another sun follows, setting the sky ablaze. The world glows in golden fire. Rivers reflect twin lights. Mountains shimmer with overlapping halos. Humanity stands in awe, blinded but mesmerized, realizing it now lives under two hearts of creation. Would we fear it? Or would we adapt, celebrate, evolve? Because if history has shown anything, it's that humans always find a way. Maybe we'd learn to cherish those rare eclipses when the suns align perfectly and the world briefly falls into shadow. For a few minutes, stars peek through. Silence returns, and in that brief moment of darkness, we remember what it means to dream. That's the paradox of light. Too much, and we lose ourselves. Too little, and we fade away. A world with two suns would be breathtaking, dangerous, and transformative. It would challenge everything we understand about time, biology, and the soul itself. But it would also remind us that even in infinite light, there's still room for mystery. Because light isn't just what lets us see. It's what makes us search. And maybe that's what keeps humanity alive, not the warmth of one sun or two, but the eternal hunger to understand what we're seeing. If you love exploring the unknown, subscribe to Beyond Theory and keep diving deeper into reality's biggest mysteries.